This is Seth David for schoolofbookkeeping.com, bringing to you a very special screencast. This time we're talking about how does the cloud compare to desktop offerings. So I get a lot of questions, and let this be your warning that if you send me a question, it might just wind up in a video just like this one. Earlier this month, Michael wrote in and says, I'm an independent investor and wondering if you have a few minutes to chat or could answer a couple of questions I had via email. Michael, I'm doing one better. I'm giving you a video response to your question. I think it's a good question. He says, one, for accounting software, how does the cloud compare to desktop offerings? Is the future really cloud and almost everything will transition there in 3 to 5 years? Two, how does Xero compare to QuickBooks Online? Is one decisively better than the other? Is the gap narrowing or widening? I think it's a great question because I think a lot of people are actually wondering this. And if you live in my world, you're actually kind of sick and tired of hearing people talk about this. But my world consists of people, when I make that reference, who live and eat and breathe this stuff all day long. So the point is there's still a lot of people out there, perhaps like Michael, who aren't entrenched in the small business accounting world, who still have these questions. And I think the answers to these questions are sort of constantly evolving. So let's talk about, first of all, how the cloud compares to desktop offerings. Recently, I had the opportunity to interview Shafat Kazi here from BQE Software, known for the product BillQuick, among others. And Shafat himself is a developer, has many, many years of experience writing software. So I thought he was a great person to ask the question to when I recently interviewed him. As far as, because Michael, to answer your question, in my opinion, no, the cloud accounting apps, cloud apps in general are not nearly as robust as the desktop apps. And as a software developer, I asked Shafat to comment on that, on why is that? Why is it that the cloud accounting apps don't really seem to be able to be as robust as the desktop? You know, none of the cloud accounting apps are able to really handle inventory at the level at which the desktop software does. Job costing, also not there. Progress billing, those sorts of things. Yes, there's workarounds for some of these things, but at the end of the day, we don't want workarounds. We want the real deal. We want a product that actually does it and does it properly. So, Shafat's response, and you can watch his interview. I'll post the link, of course, wherever you're seeing this. It was a great interview, and Shafat provided a lot of insight. And when I asked him this question, he explained, and I'll give you the short version. You can watch the interview for the longer version, but the short version was that it's not so much, because I asked him, I said, is it harder to develop software that works in a browser? Is that what it comes down to? And his response was, no, it's not that it's harder. It's that people are rushing to get something out into the cloud because it's the trend. And yes, it is where everything is going. 3 to 5 years? Probably not. Probably more like 5 to 10 years, in my opinion, before everything is truly fully cloud-based. And I'm going to qualify that in another minute and actually change my answer. You'll see what I mean. But in the meantime, Shafat said it's not so much that it's harder to develop for it, it's just that people rush to just get something out there in the cloud instead of taking their time to do it right. And that's where he thinks, and it makes sense to me, that companies have sort of fallen short somewhat in terms of developing for the cloud, is because they've rushed to get it done just to get something done instead of taking their time to sort of do it right. So is the future the cloud? Is it all going there? My answer actually is no. It's really not the cloud. I think the future, to be more specific about it, is mobile. How does Xero compare to QuickBooks Online? Are they, similar? Are they different? Is one better than the other? My honest answer is no. I really don't think one is better than the other. I think they're both different. And I think depending on who walks in the door and what their needs are, that's going to mitigate which of these two solutions I will suggest they go to. Things like inventory management, things like better job costing, and that sort of thing. Those are the areas where these cloud accounting apps all fall short. None of them really do it very well. QuickBooks has job costing insofar as simply assigning a cost to a customer when you're recording transactions. Xero doesn't have that at all. Instead, what Xero has are tracking codes. But then that's not tied into, let's say, your contacts, right? So you have to actually set up tracking codes and in effect duplicate the customers that you would want to do job costing for in the form of the tracking code list. So I'm clicking over there. It's hard to click and talk at the same time. But where is it? Tracking, right here under organization. So you can set up tracking codes. You have, I believe, 2 different lists you can create at this point. So you can use one of your available tracking categories for essentially your customer list to be duplicated so that you can accomplish job costing in Xero. QuickBooks has job costing much more sort of naturally built in, where if I go to record a check, you'll see in a moment that the drop down is there for me to assign a cost to a customer. So again, here it's more naturally built in. So are they, is one better than the other? No, it's just different, and some people like the Xero interface better. Some people like the QuickBooks Online interface better. If I had to bottom line it, both of these products are constantly rolling out updates and improvements. So, they might just be neck and neck for the rest of eternity until somebody comes out with something completely different. So hopefully that answers the question. I would please welcome your feedback and comments and what you think. I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you on the web.